Hi, everybody. This is Pastor Toby. Thanks for giving me a few moments of your time tonight. I want to thank you for the way that you have just handled so much difficulty and trial, frankly, the last 3 months. I'm grateful that you serve without fear. I'm grateful that you've maintained your trust in the Lord, and not only are you striving and surviving, but you're thriving. And that's to the goodness of God and your faithfulness. And I want to thank you for your profound support of the ministry, myself, and the work of the Lord here. Um, None of it takes place without the people of God, all of us working together to do our part of what the Lord has called us to do. Now, I'm sending this video to you as a follow-up to a letter that you'll be receiving because I have great news. As I mentioned last week, we will be having limited on-site worship services beginning on July the 5th. Praise the Lord. I am so blessed and excited about that. During this initial phase, there's going to be limitations that are required by our state and county, as well as our concern for the health, safety, and well-being of each one of you. This compels us to be prudent and as proper as we possibly can in each phase. But I know, like many of us, we're just excited for the fact that we can start gathering together on site once again, and I'm grateful for the opportunity to do so. Now, there are three things we want you to know in all of this. First one is that we're committed to your safety and to your well-being. We do not want you to be insecure. We do not want you to be frightened. We do not want you to lack confidence. We want you to know that the cathedral is going to be sanitized before each worship service. In order to maintain as safe an environment as possible, we will not be utilizing any of the other facilities except for the sanctuary itself. Nothing is going to be taking place in Faith Hall, and nothing's going to be taking place in the Wycliffe building or Wycliffe building. The reason for this is we're just trying to minimize potential exposure to the virus or other contagions. So what that means is all of our online ministries are continuing. All the children's ministries, Sunday morning at 10 a.m. and bedtime Bible story every night of the week. The Sunday school and the Bible studies are all continuing as well, as are the prayer meetings at the time that they've been currently scheduled, and all of those are still online. But we will be meeting beginning July 5th at 10:45 for the prayer service and 11 a.m. for the worship service in the cathedral on Coolidge Avenue. We know that some of you may not feel comfortable yet gathering on site, so we also want you to know that the online services are continuing and will continue. In fact, the Lord has grown the church through the online ministry. So not only are we going to continue that, we're going to be looking for ways to expand it. Now, when you come to church on July 5th, you need to be aware that all of the safety, distancing, and protocols required by our county are in place. Physical distancing will be there in congregational seating, so it's every other pew. You can't sit right next to or right behind somebody. Unless they're in your family, you have to maintain at least 6 feet of distance between everyone. We're going to have to control how people walk in and how they walk out. So I just encourage you, please work with the ushers and work with those who are trying to help. All of this is done for your safety, your well-being, as well as making sure that should the county decide to drop in and visit us, they will see that we're following their protocols and procedures as well. If you do not have a medical requirement that says you cannot wear a face covering, and some of you do, I want you to know that face coverings are required in the cathedral because they're required, frankly, in the whole state right now. Again, if you don't have a reason medically to not wear one, we're asking that you wear one. And if for some reason you forget one that day, we'll have some to provide for you, as well as sanitizing stations and things like that. We're also thrilled that unlike my letter last week in my video, some of the rules have changed. And so if you've been exposed to COVID through your work or through your home or some other thing, or if or just shopping at Walmart for that matter, or if you are part of the older age group, or maybe feel that you might otherwise be vulnerable in some way, these restrictions are no longer set in place for the worship gatherings. So what we are doing and what we are required to do is we will be taking individual temperatures to assure that no one entering the cathedral has a fever. Again, we're committed to your safety and well-being. And you say, well, Pastor, what if I show up and I've got a fever? Well, if it's 100.4 or more, we're going to ask you not to come into the cathedral. You can stay on campus as long as you're outdoors and away from others. We're very blessed that the cathedral, although it doesn't have HVAC, well, it doesn't have an air conditioning system, right now that's to our advantage. It has a wonderful ventilation system that replaces 100% of the air each cycle. So it'll limit the exposure to any potential contagions. We're also going to try to shorten the services. If yours truly can preach a little less, at least take a little less time, so that you're just not sitting in a space for a prolonged period of time. We're committed, as I said, to your safety and well-being. Secondly, we're committed to your worship experience. The county orders discourage, and in fact ask us to suspend singing. We're not going to do that. Okay, we are going to sing and we're going to worship the Lord because we're committed to your worship experience. In order to do this, however, and maintain our commitment to your safety, we're going to be moving the worship and music team, ministry teams, to the upper platform. So don't come into the sanctuary and feel like we're totally disrupted everything. The fact is we are, and we've been disrupted for several months, and we're going to be in a place of mild disruption for the foreseeable future. But because we want to maintain worship and we want to sing and we want to celebrate the Lord with the gifts of music, those individuals will be further removed from the congregation in order to mitigate potential exposure to the virus for those that will be seated in the pews. Even the modality of preaching, particularly where yours truly preaches, Pentecostal preaching, is discouraged by the county orders. We're going to preach, okay? We're going to preach. And we're going to preach the word, and we're going to listen to the word together. But what I'm going to do is try to steer a little more up front. We're not going to seat people on the front pew, and I'll try not to walk back too far up the aisle and make sure that I've maintained distance from you. The laying on of hands is, of course, discouraged when you have elbow bumps, and we can't even do that right now unless you got 6-foot elbows. But we're going to pray together, and we're going to seek the power of the Lord together. We're not going to give a traditional altar call where you come forward necessarily, but we're going to ask for people to respond to prayer needs, respond to requests, and we're going to pray one for another. We're just asking the Lord to help us to find creative ways to do this. Sometimes the Lord touched, but not all the time. Sometimes he just spoke the word. Sometimes the people weren't even present in the room or in the place that Jesus was and the ministry was taking place. We've seen that the last 3 months with online. So we're still going to pray one for another. We're just going to do it a little differently right now. And finally, as fellowship is the way that we traditionally do it, is certainly not something that fits within COVID guidelines. But we're still going to fellowship. But here's what we're going to do. We want you to encourage each other. But we're not going to have food and coffee. We're not going to have you congregate in the fellowship hall or in the in the foyer or in the 105 fellowship hall. But we will ask that you if you want to chat, as long as you're maintaining social distance and the proper distance and the face coverings, the Olive Plaza will be open. We don't want you staying out there too long, but we want you to be able to greet one another and encourage one another and smile, even if it's from a distance and it's real quick. That people can be built up in their holy faith. So we're committed to your safety and your well-being. We're committed to your worship experience. And finally, we're very committed to your understanding. So on Monday evening, that's this coming Monday, the 29th of June, at 5:30. This will be before the prayer meeting at 6:30. At Monday the 29th at 5:30, I am inviting all of you to join me for a 45-minute Zoom session. I'll kind of restate the things I just said in this video, but also Dr. Anderson and Dr. Moncher will be joining me, as well as and Sister Rualis, who have been taking the lead on our COVID compliance and preparation. And we will answer any questions you have. We'll be chatting together, and this will be from 5:30 to about 6:15, maybe bump into 6:25, right up to prayer meeting at 6:30 on Monday evening. In the letter I'm sending you, the password will go out because it'll still be the same Monday meeting ID that you guys have all been using for the prayer meetings. But we've added just another layer of security, which will include a password. And so that is on the letter that I'll send you. And if you don't have that information, reach out to Dr. Quadra, Dr. Rualis, Dr. Anderson, Dr. Moncher, myself, and Sister Marguerite, Brother and Sister Swanson. They will get this information to you. The only reason I'm not putting it in the video right now is because the video is going to be made public, and we want you to we want to not limit access to the general public at large, but we just want to make sure that those who are planning to be in the service on the 5th have the opportunity to ask questions of me and the rest of the team. So that's what's going on. The Lord is good. We're so excited, and this is only the beginning. And so by God's grace, one more thing before I go. We still have another prayer walk coming this Saturday at noon. Meet at the Cathedral if you're in the area. And we're in the midst of 40 days of prayer and fasting. Oh, my friends, how desperately we need the power and passion of Jesus to fill our lives. So I encourage you, let's dive deep into the Lord's work. And let's be excited, because this is one more step. It's only the beginning. We're all in His care, and we're thankful for this new opportunity. God bless you. You're in my thoughts, my prayers, and with much love. I'll see you on Sunday. Bye-bye.